This morning, the U.S. Surgeon General continues to push for warning labels on social media platforms, telling parents that using platforms like Facebook and Instagram may have negative impacts on kids' mental health. And here with more on the do's and don'ts for kids when it comes to social media is Dr. Vinitha Moopen from WellSpan Family Pediatric Medicine at Rossville. So good morning. This is a very important topic that has been brought up a lot lately, and it's really concerning for parents. What are some of the things that you're seeing when it comes to kids and social media?
So we're seeing a really large increase in anxiety, depression, self-image issues, suicidal ideations, not being able to have conversations with people outside the home. It's more of interacting on a electronic platform. All of these things can be very detrimental, especially when 95% of teenagers have at least one social media account.
And what age are you starting to see this at?
So the sad part is that 45% of kids 8 to 13 have a social media account, and they are not ready to navigate these waters. So we're seeing it younger and younger. We're seeing anxiety in sometimes 7 and 8 year olds, and that's very distressing, especially with the lack of therapists and psychiatrists that we have. It's hard to see this every day.
Yeah, 8 is young. I mean, you're just getting to the point of really grasping reading and writing at that point.
Right, exactly.
And now you're allowed to be on these platforms
to
see and say whatever you want.
Right.
It's so hard because, kids have smartphones, and it's easy for, all these programs are out there to prevent it from happening, but kids can be smart and find ways around it.
Right.
So what are some of the things that you talk about with parents?
So, parents really need to have those open conversations with their kids and go into the dangers of what can go wrong. Have that line of conversation open, so in case there comes an issue while the kids are online, they have that ability to speak to their parents. Have times when the phone's not allowed, like when you're eating. Turn it off at night. Keep it in a place where the kids don't have access to it. Some people use safes at night so that their kids don't get it. So sometimes it takes extreme measures, but our kids are hurting, and we need to step in.
So we talked about a little bit about the Surgeon General announcement. What do you think the biggest takeaways from that are, and do you think it will change anything?
So I think his main takeaway is that we as parents need to talk to our kids and come up with safety plans, whether it's monitoring their activity, making sure that they're not on when they're too young, seeing how they're doing throughout their teenage years. And also I think the focus is also on lawmakers and these social media companies to have safety things in place, like we do for cars and food and everything else in our lives. When it comes to kids, they have to do better when it comes to safety.
And of course, I mean, like so many of these, they have regulations of what age you're supposed to be, but
kids get around that.
Prove any of that.
Right.
It's a very scary topic, and like you said, something that we need to continue to talk about with our children.
Exactly.
So of course, if your child needs to be seen by a doctor at WellSpan, we do have information on how you can make an appointment. It's on fox43.com. Dr. Moopen, thank you so much for being with us.